How you doing, brother?
I'm doing amazing.
Glad to hear that. Folks at home, how y'all doing? Y'all doing good? I want to welcome y'all to the New to the Game podcast for the casual fan that, don't keep up on all the details. I don't know where college they went to, when round they got drafted, how many points they scored last night. But I want to have a conversation about the game. Yes, I'm going to do that. This podcast is for you. This podcast is for me. I'm Ayati. This is my boy,
T Rich.
And I think we're going to just jump straight into it, right?
Yes, sir. So, in the spirit of being a casual fan, Ayati, did you get to watch any games this week or this past week?
Did not watch a single game.
Okay.
I am not proud of that, but it's been a hectic week, to say the least.
Yep.
You know, a lot has transpired. I don't know if I should share that with you folks, but it's some shitty people out in this world. Just so you know, they just shitty. Shitbags, that's pretty much what they are. So, yeah, I didn't get to catch a game, but real talk. Let's keep it.
The truth is the truth.
It's like you call it. What you said? It's what season?
It's Robin season.
It's Robin season in this bitch, man. You motherfuckers out here wilding out. Long Beach is definitely a long beach. It ain't a safe beach. It's a long beach. They didn't say anything else in that motherfucker. So, yeah, I'm doing all right, brother. Other than that, shit. Didn't catch a game because of, a lot of distractions going on.
Understood. So I know that like you don't typically, but let's be honest, you don't typically sit down and watch a full game start to finish. Like you do a lot more like highlights, those types of things. So did you get to catch any highlights? Did you see anything on Instagram that caught your eye this week in the NBA?
Shout out to SportsCenter on Snap. Y'all keep your boy informed. I love my whole crew. My whole crew on there, all of them, whoever pop up, they all the shit, and I love watching y'all little snippets, and y'all keep me up on my sports. So yeah, I did catch my highlights there. I've been catching a lot of like snippets of this Draymond Green shit. Fucking Jordan Poole looking like a fucking fool.
Jordan Poole
looking like a fool.
Is the most unserious. Oh man.
Those are like the two highlights. And then lately, I don't know if it's just my algorithm and just like feeding it to me, but I've been seeing some great LeBron content, and I've been loving all of this shit. Like they said, what if LeBron never retired?
Yeah, I saw that.
Fuck.
Did you see him at like 98 or whatever?
In the Cyborg Basketball Association. That shit was funny as fuck. I don't know who that dude was. I wish I could give you credit. We could put it at the bottom of some shit, but
we'll fact check that shit.
LeBron just confidently just fucking people up. And it's like, I saw another highlight. Look, what do you average with Miami after 3 years? And then what is his stats after 3 years with the Lakers? And it's like hand in hand, but it's like a fucking almost decade difference.
Yeah. Yeah, it's unreal.
They're like, how is he maintaining the stats? And he's like a lot older. So like, yeah, he got 3 championships with Miami. Right? Two. Well, 2. They ain't even that many. Shit. God damn, I make it like he was over there fucking wrecking shop and shit.
But he
got one more than what he got with the fucking Lakers. What the fuck?
He got 2 in Miami, but they went to the finals. I think they went to the finals 4 times.
I don't give a fuck. It's only one more than what he got with the Lakers. What the fuck? Like, I thought it was a lot more with Miami.
No.
Nah.
Yeah. Just
that. Motherfuckers crying and whining. He did fine.
Yeah.
He done fine. Especially with them stats. But that was another highlight that I seen this week.
Yeah, so I'll say for me this week, I thought about you. I thought about you hard because the Lakers played the Spurs this week, and we haven't talked about Wemby on camera, but we've talked a lot about Wemby off camera.
Yeah.
Also, they were playing in San Antonio. San Antonio was wearing their city edition with the dope ass city edition.
Yeah, with that taco seasoning shirt. I love that motherfucker.
And guess what? The Lakers are wearing their fucked up ass city edition as well. And I thought about you because I was like, damn, James would love this game. James would love to be sitting courtside at this game because 2 teams, each team has a player that you love, right? That you're really high on, and it was wearing them ugly ass Laker City Edition jerseys with the really dope San Antonio ones. I want to be very clear. San Antonio City Editions are hard. The Lakers, not so much. But I thought about you. But also it was really interesting to see LeBron versus Wemby and just like LeBron is still playing.
Yeah.
Like, he's still playing, and he's still getting buckets on this incredibly talented 19-year-old.
Yeah.
So yeah, so
and he wasn't out here just making him look terrible, but at the end of the day, he's still like, to me, he's still a baby whale.
Yeah.
He's still, he's a whale, but he's a baby whale.
Mhm.
He don't know what the fuck he's doing
Mhm.
yet. He's still getting his mechanics down.
Yeah.
So yeah, his team got a really fucked up record. Like San Antonio got a fucked up record.
Yeah, and for someone,
ain't like in the second lowest or some shit. Like it's fucking
yeah, it's
bad.
really bad.
Losing
Okay.
streak is fucking bad.
So yeah, so it's I think it's like,
But I don't think it's Wemby fault. Like he doing good for a freshman. Shit, what the fuck?
Yeah, I mean, so I would say that I think it's Detroit, which is like they're
Oh, yeah,
they're
I
like
see that
bad
shit.
bad. They're
Yeah,
like
I heard
bad
about
bad.
that.
And then I think San Antonio's right there. But I want to just like give the audience a little peek behind the curtain, just a little whoopity whoop. So in one of our off-camera conversations about San Antonio, and this was, to be fair, this was at the very beginning of the season, so you know this is when wild predictions are thrown around. Ayati said to me with bass in his voice, like people with bass in his voice,
Confident about that.
confidently, like confident as fuck about this.
Still stand by it.
He said that the San Antonio Spurs are going to win a championship this year, and that is purely because of Wemby. So, I want you to like take us through that thought process. Do you still feel that way, knowing what you know now?
Certainly.
Okay, take off.
Certainly. He's still a baby whale. What the fuck? We only 15 games into the season? 20? What?
Like 25.
25? We only
25, 26.
Quarter way there?
Yeah, little.
About a third?
A third.
About a third. And we always got these little like, what are the motherfuckers that can play into the playoffs? Like you be on the cusp.
Play-in tournament.
Yeah, you on that bubble. And we see motherfuckers go real far on that shit because Miami did that bullshit.
It's fair.
Motherfuckers slid in there and then knocked out somebody that should have been there.
That's fair.
So it can still happen. Like I say, a baby will get them feet wet and get that little get wet and get that little blowhole going. Be out there swimming with the motherfuckers. But yeah, ain't really nobody else. You like the team ain't really there. Popovich like he don't give a fuck. He just like another game. I mean, I didn't coach legends. Like he ain't tripping. Like
that's fair. He is not tripping. You're right about that.
It's like he's just another kid to him. So he's like, you know how many greats I didn't fucking coach? Like, okay, you might be great, but I'm gonna coach your ass like the way I coach the rest of these motherfuckers. You're gonna learn these fundamentals though. I don't give a fuck. You gonna do this, you gonna follow my game plan, and their game plan ain't working right now. Whatever game plan they got, their record is showing it. The numbers don't lie. But I still stand by little dude.
Yeah, I mean, I don't think anyone's like jumping ship, but I think we have to acknowledge that you said that they were going to win an NBA championship this year.
And I think they still can.
And you think, and I just want to be very clear that you still believe that it is possible for them to win a championship this year.
Hey, LeBron doing great, but he got old knees. Don't forget. Got them old knees. When that playoffs come, that's when you see shit deteriorate like
Well, I mean, yes. Yeah. I mean, but
and it's always and in a playoff situation, it's best out of 7. So it's like, yeah, you ain't gonna lose that many in a row against the exact same team. After you get a rhythm. And I think that the West is gonna be some weird shit.
For sure.
Nuggets is gonna fuck everybody up when it comes to the playoffs. But right now, the West gonna fuck some people up. It's gonna be some shit. You're gonna have to fight. No matter what.
100%.
You can't sleep on whoever the fuck it is you play against.
There are no games off.
If fucked up ass motherfucking record San Antonio slide into the 8th seed somehow, I don't care who the fuck you is, you better be like, we better play hard on these motherfuckers. We better dominate them. Don't just be like, oh, we gonna fuck them up. Nah, that shit. It's the West. It's always a problem. Like every team's a problem. I put the West against any team on the East. Always.
I mean, yeah, I agree. I feel like the West has definitely been the tougher conference, top to bottom, for longer, or for the bulk of my life at least. I feel like the Eastern Conference was like all in like 80s, 90s kind of. Yeah, moving on.
Yeah.
So what we really want to talk about today, ladies and gentlemen, is Draymond Green, essentially, because everybody wants to talk about Draymond Green. And yeah, I mean, we acknowledge that, that Draymond Green has already been suspended. He's been suspended for, I don't know, maybe 4 or 5 days now at this point, almost
What's
a
his
week.
total suspension now? It was
Well,
indefinite before. Now what is it?
it's still
Five?
it's still indefinite, but
Or he just went past 5 games so far?
no. So my understanding of the timeline is that obviously Draymond Green did what he did to Yusuf Nurkic last Tuesday, which was whatever day that was. So y'all, this shit is timestamped, so figure it out.
Yeah.
Or Google that shit because it'll tell you. But it was last Tuesday, and then that Thursday or Friday, the league came out and basically suspended him indefinitely.
Okay.
Now, since he's been suspended, I think the Warriors have maybe played a game or two since he's been suspended or since he's been away from the team. But what I read today was because so this is actually a topic that my wife has been super interested in, right? Which is why I was like, okay, if my wife cares about this shit, like most people care about this shit that are peripherally attached to sports, right?
Yeah.
So we got to talk about it, clearly.
Yeah.
So essentially what I read today was that his suspension is going to be a minimum of 3 weeks, which would potentially put him at a potential return date, I think, of January 10th or something. I don't know who they play on that day.
They play 2 or 3 games a week?
They play 3 to 4 sometimes, most right around 3 typically.
So it could be like a 10-game.
It could be a 10 to 12 game suspension.
So it could be technically an overall serve, probably 15, 20.
Yeah. But one of the stipulations is that he has to receive counseling. And so he's going to start counseling.
Anger management counseling or just counseling?
I don't know.
12-step program counseling? Was he like an Alcoholic Anonymous? Like what?
I don't know, man.
I need some.
I don't know.
What are you going to
Well,
get?
see, this is the
psychotherapy,
right? This
regular therapy. There's a lot of
there are layers and a lot of layers and categories to these things, and that's the thing. There is a certain and as a healthcare provider, I do kind of understand that you do have to be a little bit careful in how you divulge people's kind of private private medical information, right?
But get your ass in trouble, boy. You ask somebody the wrong shit on the job site, your ass will get fired.
But at the same time, there are some self mandated kind of reporting type things within the league so that it doesn't create a competitive disadvantage for any one team or a competitive advantage for another team, right? So if a player is injured, you have to, that's why we have injury reports, right?
Yeah.
But that's where this gets a little tricky because he's not injured. He's being essentially asked or told, or maybe he said, you know what, guys, I feel like I need to talk to somebody about this shit, which I highly fucking doubt because we've been doing this shit for the last, I don't know however long he's been in the league is however long we've been talking about this shit. He is going to counseling or therapy or anger management classes or 12-step or whatever the fuck it actually is. He's doing that because he just wants to keep his job. My question to you is, now that we know all of that information, and I kind of went on a mini rant to start an unexpected mini rant about this. Holy shit, I'm sorry. Where are you at on the Draymond Green situation, and where does the accountability lie for you?
All right, so I guess I'll start off with, obviously, Draymond Green don't know where the bodies are at. Because I thought he had some shit on, a commissioner or an owner, because the way he been fucking people up for this long, I felt like he was like Debo. He must have had a porno tape or somebody's sex tape and was like, I can do what I want. Don't forget, I know this shit. Because he was just acting like he was untouchable, stalking his own teammates and shit. I was like, he got some dirt on somebody for his behavior. So clearly that answered my conspiracy theory's gone. Because now he's in trouble. So he ain't got some tape on somebody. So I'm kind of sad about that. I was hoping something come out. Draymond Green was like, well, y'all gonna suspend me? Throw this shit out there. Just some kind of shit came out, like a new owner with some prostitutes and some shit. I'd have been like, oh, this is great. This is drama. This is the kind of telenovela I need in my life. But it didn't happen. So that was like, fuck, okay. So that was the drop the ball in the Draymond segment. And then accountability, I don't know. I think it's a cop-out for both. People use now I'm not trying to like, don't take me the wrong way, don't cancel me, don't be like, oh, this motherfucker just hating on people with mental health. I go see a therapist myself. Some people use mental health as a scapegoat or a cop out for taking responsibility for shit they do. And I think the league is using it to dodge responsibility, to say we haven't been just coddling and letting this motherfucker wild out for this long, even though we have a rule on everybody else. And also, it's so Draymond can not be in trouble for fucking people up for so damn long. Oh, well, he had mental health issues. That's why he was socking motherfuckers out. Oh, like, what the fuck? You got consequences to your actions. So I'm just like, y'all really gonna do the veil of mental health? Because it's like, now you can't, you look like the criminal when you try to probe and get more information. Well, if I try to find, well, is he going to see a psychotherapist, or is he just anger management? Is it alcoholism? What the fuck? Is this motherfucker still accountable for what he been doing? Now you technically can't even touch it. You just go, we're going to still give him some punishment, but if we don't kick him out, you can't hold it against him now. So it's like, if you're not going to indefinitely kick him out like you did John Morant, just from waving some guns and shit on fucking on social media, obviously he had some mental health issues too, but y'all motherfuckers then essentially ended this motherfucker career. And I'm like, this motherfucker been kicking people in the nuts, socking them and stepping on the chest, WWE style, the whole fucking time. And all of a sudden, everybody all worried about it. So I'm just like, it just don't feel authentic to me. Like, I don't think that it's a personal betterment, because that's usually what you make. That's the decision why I made to go to therapy. Well, now, honestly, it was because my relationship was fucked up. And I was trying to, like, say that motherfucker. So, yeah, something forced me to do it. Mm-hmm. But I stayed in therapy for the next 4 years on my own personal development. And at the end of the day, you pay out your pocket to do that, and that makes it really feel like you're choosing it. This motherfucker, I think they just trying to cover it up. Like, the league is like, well, you got anger problems, and we'll just they're trying to PR spin this shit right now. So it just, because it's out of control. Like, right now they're not ahead of it. The story's just a fucking meme right now. Everybody just got
it is a caricature.
It's a character. They're just like what? It's just making people look at the league and like wonder now. They're trying to keep people from digging deeper. So let's throw a band-aid on it. Let's PR spin this shit. Boom. And then we're gonna have him come back looking like the victim, even though he didn't victimize people nuts and chest and throat for the last who knows how long, but all of a sudden now he's the victim who has been like reborn and shit, and gonna come back as this like clean cut guy, and I can just already see it happening. So I'm sitting there like, this is some bullshit.
Yeah, and I mean, I think you make some really, really great points. I mean, I myself have been in therapy for a little bit over a year now, and it was something that, yeah, like my initial push into that was something I had gotten to a point in my life where it was like, all right, if I don't do this, like I don't know where else to turn, kind of thing, right? And not to say that I was out here socking coworkers in the face and fucking,
you sure you wasn't sticking nobody in their womb with your thumb? Like,
purposely like inflicting pain on patients. Like, I wasn't doing any of those things. Like, I was still able to maintain a level of professionalism, or at least, that I wasn't being suspended or written up or being pulled into the principal's office, so to speak, right? But to your point, like, once I got in, like, it was so, like, there was so much value there. And I started to notice like changes in myself and just how I was responding to similar or the same situation that would happen in the past, but the response would be completely different. And I think the point you're trying to make is like encouraging someone to get into counseling for 3 weeks with the hope that they're going to return to work or whatever, and just continue and just completely stop the behavior or the previous behavior is a little naive. So I think, to your point, that's why it feels very inauthentic from the league, because and also I think this is another point that probably hasn't been discussed a ton, or at least I haven't seen a lot of this discussed. Like, the NBA is really known as one of the more progressive leagues out of the 4 major professional leagues that we have here in the US, right? Like, they stood behind LeBron and everyone for the Black Lives Matter movement, and have been very supportive of players speaking out to a lot of the causes that they feel and hold dear, right? And they've encouraged those things. But right around the pandemic, right, there was a shift in employer to employee relations, right? And so the employer was really trying to figure out, like, what is it that we can do to make our work environment better, safer, more inclusive, all of these things, right? Whether they were doing it in, as a performative act or whether they were doing it because they really meant it, immaterial. And so the NBA did something similar. And they found that even though their players are some of the richest athletes in the world, they were some of the most unhappy. And that was also around the time that Kevin Love and DeMar DeRozan came out with and talked about their real mental health struggles of anxiety and depression.
But those two are examples of authentic moves of like, hey, this mental health shit is something I gotta really work on because it's affecting my performance. And those two. Yes, I'm glad you mentioned that.
And if you remember, there was an entire campaign about it, talking about the importance of mental health and how we have to support each other and how you have to get the tools and the resources that you need in order to be the best version of yourself. And in the backdrop of all of that, Draymond Green is drop kicking motherfuckers in the face and in the chest. And so there's this cognitive dissonance that's taking place. So when we think about how the league has handled this, you would think that they would have had things in place, right? They started off good, maybe well-intentioned, talking about mental health. Let's bring it to light. Let's encourage people to seek those resources. Like, I'd be interested to know how many sports psychologists actually work with any of these teams. How many of these organizations are providing their players with a talk therapy or some type of psychotherapy option, right? And then we wonder why Draymond Green is out here wilding, because it's a learned behavior.
I mean, let me play devil's advocate, because honestly, I like Draymond Green.
Me too.
Villain. You need a good villain to keep these motherfucking players under control.
Yes.
So it's either you accept it and you just accept it openly, but it seemed like they only doing something because now it's becoming a problem. It's not a moneymaker like it was before. Because Draymond Green is exciting to come see, and you don't know what the fuck he might do. So I'm pretty sure he puts butts in the seats.
Oh, 100%.
But now it's starting to get out of control, and they can't capitalize off of it. And I'm like, dude, it's that whole what's in it for me mentality. And it's not really if you really give a fuck about Draymond Green. Like, do y'all really give a fuck about Draymond Green and these players, or is it just because you think this might be a problem now that Draymond Green's out of control? And I don't think he's out of control. Honestly, basketball was fun.
Yeah. Getting clotheslined.
Let these motherfuckers fight. Like I said, like the solution is like Draymond Green to me is preying upon people that ain't his homies.
Yeah,
his friends, he ain't fucking his friends up. I know his homies that he got real friends in the league. He is a fun guy. If you look at him, he from Oakland. This motherfucker is lit, he fun. I'm sure he has real friends in the league. He ain't out there clotheslining them motherfuckers.
Of course not. Draymond has a type. Let's be for real about this. Draymond has a type.
What's his type? What's his mark?
His types are introverted, quiet, kind of shy away from the spotlight guys, European guys. For like he ain't trying to bust heads on nobody that's real. Like, let's be for real about this.
But them his homies, the real was his homies. Let's be real.
And that's by design. Come on, man. Are we for real? Like, think about this, bro. Like, him and Bron had a moment in the 2016 finals. Obviously, he got fucking suspended for it. Cost his team a championship. They could have had a 3-peat going on a 4-peat with KD, whatever. Anyway, but like, bruh, like after that, like him and Bron were all of a sudden best friends at the end of the summer.
Going to his wedding.
Yeah. Same thing with Kevin Durant. He was talking big shit on the sideline at the end of their run. And then like a year and a half later, like they doing a podcast together. Like they on, like he's a guest on Kevin's podcast or vice versa. So it's like, bruh, like he has a type. And he's like, I'm gonna rock with the big bad uglies.
And shout out to his podcast, that Slamming Bones, his little Domino's podcast that Draymond had. That shit was tight. It was tight as fuck. I'm like, this guy is funny as hell.
He is great. He's so great for the league.
That's why it probably caught him from a loop too. Like, you motherfuckers like me doing this shit. Y'all like it that I make the game exciting because you see these are actually my friends. Like later on, we kicking it. I don't really hate these motherfuckers.
Well, I think the difference is like we don't see him kicking it with Yusuf Nurkic. Like we actually don't see him kicking it with Domantas Sabonis. Okay, like we gotta be objective about these things, right? Like him and Austin Rivers aren't in the club popping bottles. They're not at movie premieres together and at weddings together. He's also not, out and about with Kawhi much either. You know what I'm saying?
I don't think Kawhi want to come to Oakland either. Oakland kind of rough.
So I'm just saying. I mean, I'm just, we do have to. We have to acknowledge Draymond has a type, and that's okay.
But that's why I'm like, I'm also like trying to stand with my dude because I feel like
he's great for the league.
I like what he do. It's just like. What the answer is? Let these motherfuckers fight. Honestly, I just think it's let them fight.
So like, what does that look like? If we could, let's do a thought exercise. Let's do a thought exercise. If the NBA allowed kind of like a regulated amount of violence, if you were the commissioner, if you were the NBA commissioner, if you were Adam Silver, how would you regulate this violence?
So if I was Commissioner Ayati. if I can do it the way I want to, it'll definitely be like some headgear on the sideline that like the ref say, like if it's a tech, but it ain't like against you. It's like who the fuck did it? Y'all two get to the middle, put the headgear on, cause like at the end of the day they can't get fucked up. You don't want them bleeding shit. Put that headgear on, put them little gloves on. Y'all gotta fight for a little bit. Let me squab them a little bit. Like fucking check me, let them go for a little bit, and then that's it. Y'all just leave that shit there, like. I know that's mixing different sports like UFC and shit mixed together with the NBA, but when a motherfucker do like a foul ass fucking hit and you fell on the floor and shit, either you hurt or you not. And I think a lot of these motherfuckers be flopping, and that's probably why they like blowing it out of proportion. Yes, he slapped the shit out of that dude.
Yeah, he got my man's.
But you get rewarded for making sure the ref sees that you got hit.
That's fair.
So he could have overemphasized it, like. These are some big motherfuckers. I'm sorry, I don't think these motherfuckers throwing punches that's just putting people on the floor. Like, I don't know the last time somebody out here got socked, but you gotta really hit a motherfucker to put them on the floor. So you don't just sock motherfuckers and they just drop. So it's like, goddamn, is it overacting? So the way to eliminate that shit, y'all really gotta fight.
Like y'all gotta square up.
Square up for like 15 seconds. Not a long time to fight this hard.
Yeah.
You make a fucking waste energy and shit in the middle of the fucking court, like. But a good 10, 15 seconds, just let them just fucking get that shit out. Like, motherfucker, you kind of caught me. And there's no incentive to be flopping it because there ain't no points. You risk getting your ass whooped.
In a very public manner.
Yeah, you fucking falling like, oh, Jack. You want your squab? I don't know if I really want that squab. That is Draymond, though. You might be like, fuck that. Next time you get hit, you like, all right, I'm gonna just stay up. Like, let me just not let them see I got hit because I might have to go fight this motherfucker. So that's my solution to it. Shit.
Oh man.
I don't know. It might be outrageous. It might be too far.
I don't think it's outrageous. I think it would be comical.
These motherfuckers fight, man.
And you are correct in the sense that like just like Draymond Green's like antics is a learned behavior. It's the same thing with the way people fall because like now what everybody's trying to do is they just trying to get the ref to review it.
I'm just like, what the fuck? Like, don't get me wrong, I ain't never went to the rack and tried to dunk, so I don't know how much energy it takes to really get up there. But I'm like, dude, come on.
Yeah, it's a lot.
I look at some old footage of like Charles Barkley, what he used to do to people. I'm sitting there like, oh yeah, that was savage. Dennis Rodman, yeah, that was some savage shit. They was out there being savage. Big ass Shaq putting his nuts up on motherfuckers and shit. It was wild. This shit, I'm sitting there like, man, let these motherfuckers fight.
If I'm being honest, I would love to see Draymond fight, and here's why.
And I think he would win. That's the crazy part. I think he was whooping motherfuckers' asses.
I'm not 100% sure of that.
Man, I don't know, brother. Did you see that punch he gave Jordan Poole?
Yeah, but also Jordan Poole's like half his size, and you're not expecting it, right? Like you think you just talking shit. Like you think you like no one believes that it's escalated to that point, and then he just stole on your ass.
That's what I think. He will stole. It ain't no like talk. Like if you.
Well, no, he was. That's what I'm saying. They have been. There was a back and forth.
And he just stole. Like he didn't just. I seen so many people that talk, and I ain't never seen nobody stole on nobody like that.
But
stole on you.
But my point
I'm
is,
gonna sock your ass, and I'm like, I love it. Do it more. Like,
but this is my point though. In the circumstance or the situation that you just presented us with, where they have to basically be at center court in the jump circle, right? That's the ring.
He ain't hesitating. I think he's not hesitating. I could really hit these motherfuckers.
This is my problem though. In every situation where Draymond Green has done this, they weren't expecting it. Even though, yes, you probably should expect the unexpected with this motherfucker, given his history. But my skepticism is if he had to actually square up and fight, not catch somebody slipping. Ooh, let me weave through the crowd and then pop up and boop, and then pop back down and weave out the back door. Like, nah, none of that shit. None of that sneak up behind you and slowly creep you out and then just whisper some sweet nothings to you. No, motherfucker. Look me in my eye, and when the ref goes there, can you do it? And I don't know.
I think he ain't gonna walk away from the smoke, though. I think he will fight. Like he will go to the ring more than most people in the league because he's always doing shit to cause a fight.
Draymond?
He's always causing some shit to start a fight.
Well, my thing is
so
like
he's gonna be the more in the ring than anybody else. He can't be every night. I'm the one going to the ring.
But it's only gonna it's gonna be quite the opposite, I think, because it's only gonna take one ass whooping on that, and then all of that shit is dead. All of it's dead. It's all dead, right? Motherfuckers don't want to get dunked on, let alone beat down for 15 seconds in the middle of a game in a very public fashion, like. Literally everything goes black. Like this is how I'm picturing this situation, bro. Like they literally cut the lights off and it's just two fucking spotlights on center court. You can't see anything other than these two motherfuckers with the headgear on, bro. It'd be like American gladiators.
They should bring out Bruce Buffer and they just let these motherfuckers go. Pop, 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 pop. And the lights go back off, the take their headset off, the ref come back, and do that little ball up, and then they just get back to it. Like, should be funny as fuck. I'll be like, how do you even concentrate after that? Like, dude, you just got your ass whooped. Like,
that's what I'm saying. And then, okay, so you play that game on Tuesday, right? You got another game on Thursday. Are you more or less likely to be a part of the shenanigans? Are you more or less likely to instigate the shenanigans, right? After you got your ass beat 2 days prior.
But this is a normal part of hockey, so we need to ask these hockey players that get their ass whooped how they perform the next day, because they be ready for the smoke like the next day. Like I see people get their teeth knocked out and they ready to fight. Even though we probably talking about basketball, we got hockey now, but like what the fuck? Like that's the ones we need to ask. Like, hey bro, so that's how you got your ass beat.
And they go bare knuckles, bro. Like motherfuckers take the gloves off. They take their gloves off. They take their gloves off.
They swinging this shit on some ice skates. What the fuck? And then they ready to go right back the next day to a game. Like no problem, bro. Random side tangent, but it was like 2 hikes ago. It was a black man hike. We up in the arena, our little train walking in through the hike, and I'm trying to duck the trees and shit. One of these branches caught my shit, yanked my neck back so goddamn hard. I was like, ah! And while we behind me was like, oh shit! Because he thought I was like, oh shit, just rip it off, bro, just rip it off. Because it was so stuck, I couldn't get my shit out. I was like, man, I'm gonna sacrifice that lock. Just break that bitch. He's like, no, I'm gonna get it. And he like, man, the motherfucker wear that shit, whip your neck back. That motherfucker was like, snatch your little ponytail. Little stingy ass ponytail. I'm gonna snatch that shit. That shit hurts so bad. Random tangent, but yeah, man, these locks get real, bro. But yeah,
funny.
back to
Draymond.
Draymond and the hockey.
We appreciate y'all, tuning into that little commercial break.
Yeah, a little intermission.
I mean, I agree with you in the sense that like I think that I wish that there was a little bit more leeway, especially when like people just like be out of hand with the shit. Like Draymond Green he's a really, really smart guy, obviously. He's acutely aware of what the rules are. he's also acutely aware of his status in the game, right?
Yeah.
Like, I feel like there are a lot of people that recognize their greatness after they've accomplished a lot. They look back and they say, "Oh, okay, like, all right, yeah, I was really great." Because I think, like, in the moment, you're just like, "I'm trying to get to the next thing. I'm trying to hit the next checkpoints."
Yeah.
I think Draymond Green is, and I think this is a superpower of his, is that he recognizes his place in history in the game already.
Yeah.
While he's still doing it.
Yeah.
And so he understands, right, that I got a little bit more rope. He also understands it's a different type of league now. Everybody's a nice guy. So he also knows that on two levels. Number one, most dudes ain't really like trying to be a tough dude. They just trying to hoop. I'm just trying to come out here, play the game I love, and get this big ass check. That's all I need. And like, they're not trying to get suspended because that's taking money out of their pocket unnecessarily. Like, it doesn't really make sense. It's not worth it, right? And so all of those things have created this perfect storm where we have a really important player for an organization that has said on numerous occasions he's irreplaceable. No one can do what Draymond Green does for us, right? So number one,
it shows when he's missing, though.
For sure, 100%. And that has bared out over the better part of a decade, right? So when you know that you are in some respects untouchable, and on top of that, at every other checkpoint previous to this, when we've run into a situation like this, he's got nothing but love and support from the organization. Like, they have made excuses for him. They have written it off. And then I'm reading like, oh, okay, like the organization just thought he was going to fix this on his own. Like, they just thought that this was just going to go away, that he was just going to take responsibility and be accountable for it. But it's like, but no, for every action, there should be an equal and opposite reaction. And for all of his actions, there has been no action. There has been no reaction. There's been nothing really. And outside of them losing the finals in 2016, which I believe they would have won if he hadn't been suspended, there haven't been any real consequences for him, and that is why the behavior has continued.
That's actually just a reinforcement.
Yeah, correct.
You and again,
it's a learned behavior
and keep me in the game.
And now the Golden State Warriors are coming out and they're saying, "Man, we really lost a lot of leverage last season when he punched Jordan Poole, and we didn't suspend him at all."
They lost leverage when he punched Jordan Poole and they traded Jordan Poole. That shit was funny as fuck to me. I said, y'all traded the victim?
Okay.
But it's showing they made a good choice, though.
Which, by the way, Jordan Poole is looking this season.
He's looking terrible, man.
It's still Draymond is the better selection.
Yes. It's just, what shocks me is how drastically his game has changed since he's not under the program of Golden State. Like, it just tells me the power of whatever they doing in that organization. Because now that he ain't a part of it, it's like he just then lost his tap. Yeah. He had his root tapped in, and he was learning, and he was getting guided, and he was getting shaped into something that was a threat on the court. And now that he's away from that shit, he's useless.
It feels to me like it's a maturity thing, right? And at Golden State, it's a lot of adults there.
But he wasn't mature then either.
Correct.
But it was like as long as he was in this program.
But he knew what the standard was, and if he was gonna get playing time, if he was gonna do these things, he knew that, like, I gotta do this, right?
So that, for me, is like, if he could just stay 2 more years, they would have groomed him enough that this would have became habit for him. He wasn't there long enough for these lessons to stick. I mean, it seemed like he completely forgot them as soon as he walked away. Where on the other hand, Kevin Durant was there for a blink. Now, don't get me wrong, I don't think that Kevin Durant necessarily got taught a whole new game plan, but he didn't become worse when he left. So he took the lessons that he got from Golden State and he became an asset wherever he went. I'm like, dude, Kevin Durant was there short too. How did you not pick up nothing? Like he didn't learn a damn thing. like nothing. Like, he's like, that shit went in one ear and out the other. As soon as he was off the organization, like, all right, fuck all that shit. I'm not gonna do nothing they told me.
Yeah, pretty much. I think number one, Kevin Durant and obviously Jordan Poole are not in the same universe.
Like,
but Kevin Durant, like he came into the league very much so like LeBron, where even if he wasn't doing a whole lot of like lifting and maybe like cross training, those types of things, he's a basketball junkie. Like, he just wants to play ball, he just wants to hoop. So he worked on his game. Like, so he developed a work ethic very young in his career. And that was how he got so much success and acclaim in OKC and was able to carry them to a finals and multiple playoff runs. But what I think Kevin Durant learned in Golden State, I think what he learned is how to win a championship, right? Like also how probably a little bit about how to lead, although he didn't really have to lead because Draymond Green was the vocal leader, Steph was kind of the emotional leader, right? So he could just kind of go there and hoop.
I feel like he probably was the most relieved over there.
Oh yeah,
ain't no pressure on me.
Yeah,
this is motherfucking Steph shit. Steph needs to show the fuck up. I'm Kevin Durant, don't get me wrong.
Yeah.
But shit.
And
I got all these motherfuckers in case I don't show up.
Yeah.
Sure, hit the mic all hard and shit. He probably like, that shit hurt. It's not the mic. Oh, shit.
But no, I mean you're right. Like he was chilling because number one is that was like prime Klay Thompson, prime Steph, prime Draymond. So like the shots he was getting was unreal because are you gonna double Steph? Or you got to stay home with Klay in the corner, like Draymond's doing his thing and just finding everybody and orchestrating it. So like, I mean, trip. Yeah, like I mean, yeah, like they
just got in the car with his bag and said, "Where we going?" Like that shit probably was fun. I could imagine that shit. Like, oh, yeah, let's go.
Yeah, on any given night, you have 3 dudes that could drop 40 plus. So like, we good.
Yeah. We Gucci.
And that's why they won those championships. It wasn't until he got hurt, obviously.
Yeah, that was.
And then Klay got hurt. Like the tail end of it came crashing down. It was it came crumbling down at that end.
I bet you it was a fun ride.
Oh, for sure.
He probably just enjoying it.
Because for everybody, for 2 seasons, didn't have no worries, and they were the villain too. Like nobody liked them. I mean, I did. I was rocking with it because I was a KD fan. I was an OKC. Excuse me. I was an OKC KD fan. So yes, and obviously, like we talked about liking Golden. I adopted Golden State because the Lakers were just we were just a fucking dumpster fire. Like end of Kobe time into everything prior to LeBron coming.
Is that a unique Cali thing that we can like support multiple teams and it ain't wrong? Like fuck it, I like all the motherfuckers. Yeah. If I would support their ass if they in the championship, West Coast. Like.
Yeah, well, yeah, for sure. I think this is the genius of the NBA. We were kind of banging on them earlier about their mental health shit, but like, or I was at least. All right. Anyway, these things happen. But I think one of the genius things about the NBA is like they do know how to market and they know how to market their stars. And so I liked him on the Warriors, but because the NBA markets individuals, you know what I'm saying? Just like you're more of a player person, you follow the Clippers, but you also like you like more players than you do. You probably like more players that aren't on the Clippers than you do that are on the Clippers.
Like players, hard.
But that's the genius of the NBA because even if the team that you support is really is not good or not up to par or not making deep playoff runs, there's always going to be at least 1 or 2 individual players or stars that most people are going to follow. That and then they end up kind of becoming de facto fans of those teams in the interest of that individual player.
When are they ever going to evolve to a point where it's just players and they just like how they do in the fucking in the All-Star games? Like you put these players together for a season and just see what happens. And then next year we shuffle it again. We just shuffle a team together and see what the fuck happens. It's just like organized chaos. Like,
well, then at that point, it would then be who's the most well-run organization at that point. And I mean, it still is a lot about that. But like in the NBA, you can cover up a dumpster fire upstairs by having a shit ton of talent on the floor. Yeah. But but if you had to redraft every single year,
and it's not organizations play players, it's like the whole league you have a league salary and you don't know where the fuck you might play in the next year. Like fuck that. You might be
like you're a tier 1 player, so you're gonna make X amount over the next 4 years, but you might play for 4. You're gonna potentially play for 4 different teams.
It depends. But you also could throw you around.
You could be redrafted by your previous year's team.
You might come back to a team, but like just shuffle
that
around because everybody likes players. I care about the players more than I care about my region or team. So yeah, I would love for my region to get LeBron 2 years in a row, but I won't be mad if Damian Lillard came here. I wouldn't be mad if Giannis was here. So it's like, fuck. Yeah, it's a draft, but shit, if I knew the motherfuckers get shuffled every season, And I'd be like, fuck, we got a bad hand this year. It's like playing Uno and shit, or playing fucking spades. Like, okay, I got these 13 cards. You said we gonna do this year.
I got one in a possible.
I got one in a possible. But next year it's like a guarantee. Like how they saying what they do the draft now. Like you gonna guarantee get the first round pick draft on your team no matter what, because you got that fucked up hand last year.
Mm-hmm.
I think that'd be way more exciting. Now it would be buying jerseys.
That would be interesting,
and it increased sales because then you could just sell jerseys every fucking year. You don't know what team this motherfucker's gonna be on. You potentially could have 30 LeBron jerseys because he played for 30 fucking years. Let's keep it real. He played for 20 years.
He would have 21 different jerseys.
Some of them might be repeats. He might be on the same team.
That's fair.
You're gonna follow your players. So shit, I got 20 LeBron jerseys. God damn, this motherfucker play somewhere different every fucking year. He was in a different region every year. This is stupid. I think that's how it should be. But that's just me because I got ADD and I love shit to get shuffled.
No, I understand that. I totally get the allure of like new things. Obviously, that's in-season tournament, right? Play-in tournament. All of those things are a part of that.
I think it'll be exciting because especially with markets that don't ever stand a chance to fucking win anything.
Yeah, that's real.
You just know you're gonna get a good hand. One day you're gonna get a spade hand. You're gonna be like, this shit is nice. How did we get all these players? We got all of them. All of them.
That is an interesting topic, but let's finish up. Let's finish up this Draymond Green.
Bring the tangent back. I mean, turn the wheel back in.
Any final thoughts?
I mean, personally, if I could talk to Draymond, take this shit serious. Like, therapy is amazing. Like, the analogy I use for therapy is like, okay, let's say you have an electrical problem in your kitchen. Your friend is a plumber. And you ask your friend, hey, can you help me with this plug? They're your friend, and they have good intentions, but they don't have the skill set to fix an electrical problem. They're a plumber, so yeah, they have some competence and know how to use tools, but it's going to take them so long to fix that electrical problem, or maybe make it worse and make it a fire, even though they really care about you and they're trying to solve your problem. That's how it is when you like ask your friends for advice that you should be asking a therapist for. We care about you. We're going to try to steer you in the right direction, but we don't know what the fuck we're talking about. Let's just be real. Yeah. And a therapist has real skill sets.
Yeah.
They know what the fuck they're talking about. They know how to navigate and probe and ask certain questions and lead you to an answer. They're not telling you what the fuck to do. They help you get somewhere. And I think that we underestimate that. You can take this shit how you want and just take these 3 weeks and like, I'm just doing what the motherfuckers tell me to do. But Draymond, low-key, that shit is amazing. So if you ever watch my podcast and be like, hey, go do that shit, bro. And I hope you really take it serious. And the league, fuck them motherfuckers, they rich. So they can figure that shit out.
Yeah,
APR people figure that shit out.
Yeah, for sure. I mean, I echo everything that you just said in regards to your sentiments towards Draymond. Yeah, I mean, like just lean in, man. I mean, it's the hardest thing you'll ever do, but it's also, or one of the hardest things you'll ever do, but it's also one of the most rewarding things that you'll ever do, or at least that's been my experience. And I hope that's what we all kind of learn from this, right? Is when people are struggling or having a hard time, like pointing them in the right direction, not placating them, not coddling them, not enabling dangerous behavior, right?
Yeah.
And so that's my hope. And so we'll see what happens. With that being said, that's it for today. That's all we got.
Yes. Thank you again for watching the New to the Game podcast.
Yeah.
We take the arts, we take the music, take the sport, take the peripheral.
And we try to bring it in little chunks that are easy to digest and feel good to us, number one, but also hopefully it's something that y'all can rock with and we'll continue to rock with. So with that being said, y'all stay casual.
Yes.